Hello, and welcome to another Rant Rave review. I will be ranting about Throne of Glass in a moment, but first, an apology obligatory for not updating for like all of March, or all of April. Oh, my stars. Okay, for all of April. I've already lost a month. And I don't have the excuse of staying at home because I still actually have to go to work, even though our library is closed. It's me and a couple other staff people in the building, and we are like relabeling stuff and getting ready for summer reading challenge. But there's no people there, so it's kind of like the Twilight Zone, which is one thing that's like making me stressed. Everything else in the whole world, I'm not actually worried about getting sick. Like there's like 1 to 5 cases where I live, but it's like everything else, like the news constantly. Half the people thinking that the world is going to end, and half the people being like, those people are total idiots. There's nothing to worry about, and I'm like, there's an in between people. That's just been stressing me out. So that's one reason I feel like not making videos. That's one. The second one is I get the winter blues like fiercely the longer winter goes on. First of all, a little geography lesson for those of you who don't know. So I live in Arizona, and you probably think of Arizona as a desert, and half of it is. But the top half, like if you picture Arizona, like the state, the top half of it is on the Colorado Plateau, and we're super high up. Like places on the Colorado Plateau are 6,000 to 7,000 feet above sea level. And so it's actually really cool up here. Very nice, actually, except that our winters tend to be kind of long, and it's not cold, it's just bleak. Like until last week, nothing really was budding or blooming, and it was just really, it gets me down. Like in November, December, I'm fine, and in January, I'm like, and then in February, I can't deal with it anymore, and then March, I can't deal with it, and I just get super depressed. And so all of March and April, along with everything else, I was just, I didn't want to do anything. So that's the second reason I didn't post anything for like a month or two. And then the third reason is a good reason. I drove to another city to look at kittens. I'm going to be getting 2 kittens, which will definitely be appearing on this channel. Count on it. They're just too little to adopt right now. They're like less than 2 pounds, so I have to wait until they're big enough to like be spayed and neutered and then brought home. And there was a third reason. Another reason, oh my goodness, was that I already did film a Rant Rave review of Throne of Glass, but it was way too mean. So that's like your warning right here. If you are a fan of Throne of Glass, you probably should exit the vicinity and come back and watch other videos of mine. I really hate Throne of Glass, and I ripped into it, and I like rewatched the video, and I was like, I can't post this on YouTube. Like, this is too mean. So yeah, I had to redo it. So that's my life in a nutshell right now. Yeah. So let's get to it. Throne of Glass. So I do not own this book, and I cannot show you the cover because I would not buy this book. But anyway, I wanted to read it legitimately. For many years, I kept seeing this cover at Barnes & Noble of this kind of drow-esque looking chick who has snow white skin and long snow white hair and a leather suit and like 2 swords. It's called Throne of Glass. And I was like, that looks pretty rad. I love people with me. I love that long white hair. Yes. And then eventually, finally, I look at the back of the book and it's like, there's an assassin contest and this chick is a slave and the only way she can win her freedom is to win the assassin contest. There's also a love triangle. Who cares? Assassin contest. Assassin contest. You had me at assassin contest. So, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, summer reading challenge is a thing that you should all find out about at your local libraries. At ours, it's an all ages challenge. So for adults, you have to read for 48 hours over the course of the summer. And I chose that book because we had it at the library. And I had to finish, right? Because like the time I spent reading it and hoping every page that it might get good eventually would go into my summer reading time. So let's start with the book. Okay, when I first filmed this review, I had actually the wiki in front of me to like read you all the ridiculous names, but I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm like, nope, not gonna give it the time of day. So, the long and the short of it is basically the premise, quote unquote, is that there's this chick who's enslaved. Her name is, oh my gosh, what is her name? I should actually look it up. It's like Celine or Colleen or it's like impronounceable, as are like half the names in this book. The author was like, I made up these names and I am the sole author of these names, but rather than spell them in any way that like a human can understand immediately, I'm just gonna make them so you can't. Like the one of the love interests is like Chaol, and I'm like, Shawl? I don't know. Selena. Her name is either Selena or Kalena, and I have no idea which. I'm just gonna call her Main Girl because she actually has like 7 different aliases because she is the queen of all Mary Sues. But we'll get to that in a second. So, Kalena, Main Girl, is a slave in like these mines that are super mean that you send like enemies of the state to, and she is taken out of these mines to meet the prince, who, it's really important that this prince has stunning blue eyes, sapphire blue eyes, striking blue eyes, and you can tell it's important because we are told this fact 4 times in the first 5 chapters. I counted. Like, if you've watched my video about YA, I hate when they talk about eye color. It makes me want to die. I don't mind if you mention it once, but why do you have to mention it 4 times? Like, you know, you have blue eyes? No way, really? It's stupid. Anyway, so basically the prince is like, yo, my horrible evil dad is holding this assassin contest, and I need you to be my assassin. Because Kalena, Selena, Main Girl, is the, Ardalan or something is the name of the kingdom. I'm not even going to try to pronounce these names. Why should I? Ardalan's assassin. She's the most famous assassin, by the way, in the entire kingdom. And rather than like friggin' like executing her, which any king worth his salt should have done, he sent her to these slave mines. Like, anyway, so the prince is like, I'm going to like choose you for my champion. There's a bunch of champions who will represent various, you know, aristocrats, etc. And the winner of this assassin contest gets to be the king's assassin for 4 years and assassinate whoever the king wants, and then can be free. So this slave / most famous and best assassin in all the land is like, heck yeah, I'll do it, except that I don't care. Anyway, so Prince's love interest number 1, you can tell because his eyes are like really blue. And then, oh my gosh, and then she goes to the castle, which is made of glass. Oh my gosh, the castle is made of glass because that makes all the sense in the world. And the throne is made of glass. And apparently this is because I read somewhere that like originally this story was based on Cinderella, which at first I was like, that makes no sense, it's stupid. But then I was like, no, it makes way more sense, which I'll explain in a second when I get to the assassin contest. No, it makes a lot of sense that this story is based on Cinderella. Kind of. Anyway, the throne is made of glass. The top part of the castle, there's like a top part of the castle and the old castle. And the top part of the castle is made of glass because kings in glass houses stove thrones. But I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. So, oh my gosh, calm. Okay, so we also learned that this king, here's a really original idea. Sit down for this because you might be shocked at how original this idea is. This king hates magic and outlawed it in his kingdom. And all the magic people were either killed or went underground or enslaved. Isn't that the most original thing you've ever heard in your life? It's crazy. Anyway, oh gosh. Okay, so let's get to the and the king's really mean, but he's barely in it. Anyway, let's get to the assassin contest. Now, let's pause here for a second. I read that this was about an assassin contest. You heard from my lips this is about an assassin contest. Like, let's just take 5 seconds to think about what an assassin contest should entail. Okay, probably like people assassinating people, probably each other. Like what I was assuming was, you know, there's 24 assassins and they have, you know, free reign of the castle and they have to kill each other off and the last assassin wins. If you want to be really cool, you can't let anyone know who you are when you're assassinating or something like that. Like I kind of, if I had more time, I would actually write my own assassin contest story and it would be awesome. But obviously, like you should be assassinating people in And right? No. What? No. The assassin contest is like, let's see which assassin. Oh, and they're not all assassins, by the way. There's like random thieves and random other criminals. And I'm like, a thief is very different from an assassin. I'm not sure what the author thought an assassin meant. Like, I think she might have just chosen it because it sounded cool. It kind of reminds me of the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, and my brother actually wrote a Pirates Who Don't Do Anything parody about this book and assassins, and I'm like, because she doesn't, spoilers, she doesn't actually kill a single person in the entire book. The best assassin in the entire friggin' country, world-renowned, in fact, she's killed people in the backstory. We just are never shown it in the book. She doesn't kill anybody in the book. The captain of the guard, who's like love interest number 2, he kills somebody in the book at the end, and then he's like really sad about it because he's never killed anybody before. Because like nepotism, I guess, is how he became the guard, because he's BFFs with the prince. I don't know. Anyway, so the assassin contest, which is made of mostly thieves and other criminals who aren't assassins, including the main character, is like climb that wall really fast. Or put these bottles into like most poisonous to least poisonous, and then you have to drink the one that's least poisonous. And I think those are like the only 2 were actually shown. The rest aren't even shown. They're just mentioned. Isn't that an exciting assassin contest? Because you see, my friends, this is not a book about an assassin contest. Oh no! This is actually secretly a book about wearing pretty dresses. And being Cinderella, and being a poor girl who gets to go to the ball. There's even a ball that she crashes, even though the mean captain of the guard's like, you shouldn't do that. She's like, well, I wanna, so I do. Oh, did I mention that no one in the contest, or in the aristocrats, except for the prince and I think his dad, are allowed to know that she is Ardalan's assassin, Selena Kalena, the most famous assassin in the world? No, because, I don't know, they just can't know this. So she has to pretend, while she's in the castle, made of glass, that she's some, like, rich aristocrat lady. But she's not like other girls, because she reads. And other girls don't read. Yeah. Except for the token black character, who does read, and is also not like other girls. And is also a magical black person. So, anyway, okay. Let's get back to the story. So, like, literally, like, I don't even know how many times the author describes in detail the dress that this character is wearing. All the different dresses, the color of the fabric, the like bodice, what it looks like, and the cut and the fabric and the like design. And I'm like, I don't care. Why? This is not important to the contest. So, but anyway, we have to really know like all the pretty things she's wearing. Especially because like eventually she's gonna like be in love with the prince and they're gonna date. In the most high schoolish, like, dating way. Like, modern high schoolish, not, like, a fantasy world high schoolish. Okay, so eventually, several things happen. She randomly crashes a ball for no reason, and it's not important. We learn that there's this big jock champion who's, like, the mean jock champion, who's big, and he has a ring. And there's also this, snide, like, diplomat who I believe has the jock champion for his champion. And he also has a magic ring, yes. And there's, like, a weird subplot with him and one of the, like, other girls who's like other girls. Anyway, so that's one subplot. The second subplot is that Kalena finds out that in the old part of the castle, there's, like, this tomb of this, like, magical queen who I think is supposed to be like the fairy godmother. I'm gonna give the author that. I actually don't think this book has anything to do with Cinderella, but I'm gonna pretend. I'm like, sure, she's a fairy godmother, sure. Anyway, and there's like a sword or something, and then fairy queen or something, I don't know. Don't care. And then someone, we don't know who, it's a mystery, is killing off other people in the assassin contest, which is against the rules and highly suspect and apparently not part of the contest, even though it should be. It's horrible. Oh my gosh. Other champions in the champion assassin contest are being murdered, but not by a human, by some horrible beast. Who could it possibly be? What characters are both antagonistic and have matching rings? We don't know. Who could it be? Who could it be? We don't know. And then Kalena meets the magical black girl whose country is enslaved because apparently, like, on Earth, it wasn't just a random fluke of history that certain cultures, like, colonized other cultures, and those cultures who were colonized and enslaved happened to have more melanin in their skin. No, according to fantasy authors far and wide, having more melanin in your skin just makes you prone to being enslaved because that's how it is in all fantasy books. Why? Like, please don't have enslaved black people in your completely made-up world. It doesn't make any sense. They wouldn't necessarily be enslaved. Why? Why? Especially not if they have magic. If you're... This is like a side note, okay? I don't get every single fantasy book ever written, which has the trope of, like, banned magic, where, like, the big mean non-magic people, like, are mean to the magic people and, like, enslave them or kill them or all this stuff. And I'm like, no, if you have magic, you're gonna win that war, yo. Like, it's gonna be, like, the Death Eaters or Magneto being like, we're taking you out, okay? Like, you non-magical people, unless you, like, say that they have better technology or something, which no one ever does, there's no contest. Why would the magical people be enslaved? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, back to the horrible book. And this, like, magical black girl is a super good person and not like other girls. And, of course, Kalena, who's super open-minded, is her BFF because she's also not like other girls. And then, like, I forget what she says, something random. Oh, and it's also, like, very obvious that this girl knows magic. Like, it's not a mystery. She obviously knows magic and can read older magical runes, wards. And then I forget, I haven't read it in years, but Kalena says something or Selena, I don't know, says something completely non-important, like not offensive or anything. And the black girl's like, you're an idiot, or something. She calls her stupid, or like insults her intelligence. And rather than being like, dude, chick, like, what's wrong with you? Kalena, Selena, main girl, is like, she's right, I am. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, she's such a jerk. Why? She just turned on you like that. Like, you were friends, and then she just turned on you for no reason. But don't worry, they're still friends. Like, nothing comes of that. Because I have a very strong feeling. I believe this book was actually written on fiction.net originally. Might as well have been written on fanfiction.net, TBH, except that I've read fanfiction that's way better than this book. It reads like a high schooler's fanfiction and not a good one. Because there is some great fanfiction out there. This is one of those examples of it not being, except that it's Cinderella fanfiction. And it's bad. Anyway, like, none of the, like, that relationship doesn't follow through. Nothing is, like, no. It comes back at the end a little bit, but not the fight that they had. And then, wait, whoa, hold on to your horses and hats. It turns out that the big, beefy jock champion and the, like, snidely duke champion were behind the murders. Who could have known? I just don't know. And then, so yeah. So they're behind it, and, like, it's not important, it doesn't matter. Because what does matter, who cares about that? What's important is that, like, now Selena is in love with the prince, who has really blue eyes. Except there's also a scene where, like, the very, like, nice captain of the guard looks at her with brown eyes. Quote, he looked at her, or me, with brown eyes, because he couldn't have looked at her any other way, because his eyes are brown, we already know that. Anyway, that's my own pet peeve. I'm sorry, I hate it. So she's dating the prince in secret. I don't know. They're dating, and, like, they love each other, and they're all lovey-dovey, and the prince's, like, royal dog has puppies, and Selena wants one of them, but she's like, I'm not gonna take care of it. You do it, prince, meh. But I want a puppy. And then there's a part where, this is before we know who's murdering everybody. There's a part where she wakes up on, like, basically, like, off-brand Christmas Day and finds, like, a bag of candy, like a pound of candy in a bag, like, left for her in her room. And she just eats half of it. Like, she has no way of knowing who actually sent this bag. I think there is a note by the prince. There might not even be a note that's from the prince, but either way, I'm like, you don't actually know that he sent this. She just eats half of it because it's not like there's someone going around like murdering assassins in this contest. It's not like someone could easily poison you and you just chugged down half a bag when you, like, that's fine. You're like the best. You're the best assassin in the world. Like, I totally buy that. And I don't buy, of course, that, like, a high school age girl wrote this book about, like, wanting to date a nice boy who would, like, give her candy and puppies and wear pretty dresses, but also, like, really likes fantasy books because she's not like other girls and set it in a fantasy world. Except that's, like, exactly what this book is. Okay. I'm sorry. It's so not good. Continuing. So, yeah. Prince is stupid. She eats half a bag of candy. Eventually there's a fight at the end where she fights big beefy guy who's like roided up on his ring, and then she gets like poisoned because cheating, and she's like weak, and then her fairy godmother and the magical black girl heal her or save her or something, and then the captain of the guard kills big beefy guy, I think, maybe. I don't even remember. And she doesn't do anything at the end of the book. Like, the main character doesn't really do much at all. Certainly doesn't kill anybody, because why would an assassin do that? And then the king's like, you've won my contest, because you're the only one left alive, I guess. I don't know. But I'm also evil. Yes. And then she's like, I can't be with you, prince, anymore, because now I'm your dad's assassin. And it doesn't matter, because who cares? The end. And apparently there's, like, tons of other books in which, okay, so the Mary Sue thing, in which we learn, I mean, if we didn't already know that this chick is Mary Sue, we learn it now. First, a PSA. What's a Mary Sue? Some people think it's sexist. They're wrong. That is not a sexist term. Mary Sue comes from I believe, satirical Star Trek fanfic about Ensign Mary Sue, who is, like, that stereotypical character who all the, like, canon characters love, and she, like, saves the day and dies heroically and has all these stupid skills, okay? That's what it is. That's where it comes from. That is why it is called Mary Sue. It tends to be used on female characters, I think, because women write more fanfics than men. The end. So if you're gonna have a self-insert character, and you're writing a fanfic and you're a woman, it's probably gonna be female. That's it. It's not sexist. And a lot of people are like, well, like, oh my gosh, like, Ray, the chick who played Daisy Ridley, she was like, I think it's sexist because her name's Mary Sue. It's not, like, and I'm like, Gary Stu? Like, Gary Stu is a literal, like, and I don't even say that. I just call them, like there's male characters. Like, tons of light novel protagonists are Mary Sues. There are so many male Mary Sues, it's not even funny. But again, you can call him a Mary Sue, you can call him a Gary Stu, it doesn't matter. It's just that term for that kind of annoying character who is overpowered, has way too much tragic backstory. A lot of people say that, they're liked by all the characters, but no, they're liked by all the good characters who you are supposed to like, and they're hated by the mean characters who are bad. Which is why we have a character like Kalena Selena, where the, like, other girls who aren't magical black ladies who only serve to, like, be that role, don't like her. The other girls who are popular and stuff, they don't like her because it's high school, apparently. And the mean Duke doesn't like her. Like, you know what I mean? All the characters who are good like her, and all the characters who are bad don't. Like, that's a Mary Sue-ish thing. You get the same thing on a male end where you have a stupid, like, light novel or, like, Sword Art Online. I don't know. There's characters where they have a harem where all the girl characters inexplicably love this one guy for no reason. There's nothing actually likable about him, but they all love him. And he can just inexplicably do all these really good things. That's a Mary Sue. So, let's get back to Kalena. So, she's the best assassin ever, like, in this country, even though we're not shown that. She can play the piano forte because her assassin papa taught her how to do that. I'll get to him in a sec. She's super beautiful. And I will give you props. I'll give points to this author. She knows that she's beautiful. None of this false humility nonsense, but she's super beautiful. Okay. Yeah. And she wears lots of pretty dresses. Oh my goodness. So there's that. There's like the having many skills and being really good and perfect at all this stuff. She's not as Mary Sue-ish in that respect, though, but she is in all the tragic backstories. Holy cow. So she has not one, not two, not three, but 4 tragic backstories, because 1 is not enough for the Queen of Mary Sue's. No, you need 4. So she was orphaned when her parents were murdered. Apparently in future books we find out that she's some kind of fae royalty, which is also very Mary Sue-ish. She's kind of fae royalty and has a bajillion aliases. There's Arden's assassin, Selena, Lady whatever her name is when she's pretending not to be an assassin for no reason, whatever her fae queen name is, some stupid nickname. Like there's so many, like seriously 7 or so names. Why? She's super special. She's super special. Anyway, her parents were murdered. Oh no. And then she was adopted by this assassin dude who broke her hand. Does she say in a door? I don't know. He broke her hand so she'd be better at sword fighting? I don't know. Apparently that's how you do it. Apparently. Then she fell in love with another assassin, but he was murdered or died or something. Her love died. And then she was caught by the king's guards and sent to a horrible slave mine. So much tragic backstory. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, this is what people mean when they're like, that character's a Mary Sue. Okay? That's what they mean. They don't mean, I hate women. They mean that particular character is so over the top in terms of tragedy and skill and how much other people love her or him. It's silly. Like, cut it out. We don't need this, okay? I covered all the topics and why I hate the Throne of Glass. It's like 26 minutes long. I should probably stop now. Holy cow. It's not a good book, and it lied. That's why I really hate it. If it was just a Garbo, I mean, there's plenty of bad YA books. But my issue is it lied. Oh, she doesn't even have white hair, by the way. She has blonde hair. She's just a Caucasian chick with blonde hair. No white skin, no white hair. It's lies. Lies, I tell you. I expected something better. I expected a real assassin contest, and I was deprived of that. So that's why it's a really bad book. Is it the worst YA book I've ever read? No, that would be Switched. Probably. Anyway, it was not good. I do not recommend it. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Okay, so now on to business. So to make up for my horrible lack of not posting anything this month, next month is Get Caught Reading Month. And I have a really dumb theme planned to go along with that. I'm going to be doing true crime every weekend in May. There are 5 weekends, so expect 5 true crime reviews. Yeah, that's all I have to say for now. See you next time, next weekend, for sure. Oh, no, actually, this weekend, because May starts tomorrow. I've lost all track of time and sense. So yeah, in 2 days from now, true crime. Be there. What?